Hello, I should be live. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me? I'm gonna take a sip. Mm. It's still hot. Awesome. Welcome back to Supercharged Fridays. My name is Sonal Behel. I've been live streaming here every Friday on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube since January 2020. If we haven't met before, I used to be in human resources for the better part of 2 decades in India, South America, and Europe, and I am now what is called a career coach. Essentially, that is a person who helps you to transition between two uncomfortable things going on in your career. Usually, it's usually more often than not, it's a big change in your career, moving industries, geographies, function, or even like your company, right? And basically, I help you to land something that's even better than before in every possible way, financially, more interesting work, more fulfilling work that gets you excited and looks makes you look forward to Monday morning. That is my jam. If that is what you're about, consider just hanging out and being part of my world. Like I said, I've been doing these every Friday for 5 years. Haven't missed a single Friday. I think except one where I had to like go to the emergency room. Even there, like I made up for it a couple of days later. And what we do is we hang out. So if you've got something on your mind, you got a question, you got something that's bothering you, this is a safe space. We talk about it. I'm not like the guru who's got all the answers. I just have perspectives that I think maybe can be helpful. Okay. More often than not, I think they are helpful. I got no horse in this game. I got no horse in this race. I don't really care either way, whatever it is you decide to do. I'm more sort of neutral and like to sort of weigh our options and help you to come towards clarity, that beautiful C word, clarity, right? Don't we all sort of want a little bit more clarity? So, yep. So, also, without forgetting, actually, today's Navroz. So, first day of spring. Navroz Mubarak to anyone who's watching who celebrates. What a beautiful day we have here in Belgium. The sun is shining. It is. I like to get so technical, actually. It is 20 degrees Celsius, which is so nice. It's the start of spring. And for my peeps who are watching in the US, I got you, even though you're the only country in the world that refuses to give up, at least I think the only country in the world that refuses to give up the goddamn Fahrenheit, 68-degree Fahrenheit. Okay. It sounds so weird saying that. But the rest of the world is Celsius. So just catch up with us, okay? Welcome, welcome if you're watching. I can see some comments already. I'm so happy you're here. Let's roll in. I got 20 minutes or so before I get into my next call. So what can I do to help you? Okay. And if you have a particular question in mind, here's how I recommend that you sort of think about it. Okay. Um, this is how my coach talks about it. Come up with your question with this in this format. My problem is X, my ideal outcome is Y, my question is Z. Okay, it'll help you and it'll help me. So as opposed to this is what's happened, I don't know what to do. No, be more specific, right? Don't ask lazy questions. Nobody likes that. And how can I help you if you're not 100% honest? Happy Friday. Thank you for being here, Kanik. Happiest country in the world, Risto. So nice to have you here. We talked about this once. Remember when you came to my live stream, we talked about the happiest country. Why is Finland the happiest country? And what are some career lessons we can take away from that? That was such a good one. That was such a good one. Thank you for reminding me. All right, I can see questions. Kanik, I can see that you're asking a couple of questions. Let us get into it and get started. Thank you for joining, lady. Oh, so nice to have you here. 39 degrees. That sounds cold if it's Fahrenheit, okay? Because Celsius, this would be boiling. If this was Celsius, this would be like 100-degree Fahrenheit. -2 Celsius. Yeah, dude. You live in freaking Ohio. Like, what do we expect? Nice to have you here, Jeff. Kanik, you've got a question. Happy Friday to you. And let us get into it. I recently joined a new organization, and my teammates and reporting manager are younger than I am. and I feel ashamed and as if I'm like behind. Um, it hurts me a lot in spite of my knowledge of 12 years. It's not good enough. Mm-hmm. Mm. You've just joined a company where your teammates and reporting manager are younger to you, and this is hurting you. Kanik, let's talk about this. Okay. Why is this hurting you? And think about it, type it out. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Anybody else who's ever been in this place, feel free to share. Okay. The number one thing, I'm not going to tell you brush it to the side, go, it'll go away. I get it. Okay. One of the most powerful facets of human existence is the ego. All right. And it's when we think of ego, we think of arrogance, we think of someone who's full of himself, right? Ego comes up in many ways. Ego also helps us to feel small. Ego prevents us from making change. And I saw this just as a side comment here because I saw a question sort of coming up very quickly. Dan, um, career change after 40. Yeah, you see, this is purely coming from ego. And the ego doesn't like it because the ego wants to keep you where you are today and not make any change, and it likes to stay safe. And it's very connected to that reptilian brain that has protected us for thousands of years, right? And it's like, I'm moving villages and there's a danger this person in that tribe might hurt me. I mean, this there's not been much evolution in our brain for 10,000 years. So anything that feels like this is danger, the reptilian brain as well as the ego wants us to keep safe. Okay. Now, I'm just going to go very fact based right now. Okay. There are things Kanak, that they don't. There are things they know that you don't. Approach this, please, with a student mindset. Okay. It's one thing to say they're younger to me. It's another thing to say that everyone around is super immature. But that's very different. Okay. So I have had a manager who was younger to me, wasn't comfortable at the beginning, okay, and it didn't last long. She was moved somewhere else. I learned things from her that I had not learned from others. So milk it, okay. You got the lemons, squeeze as much lemon as you can, lemon juice out of it as much as you can, and see what it is that you bring to the table, right? Because you have certain experience and skills and life experience that they just don't have, okay. So come from that place. What do I bring here? Come with the energy of how can I contribute versus and the shame is, it's really exaggerated here. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's own, I'm going to say this, I know this is going to sound super cliche, it's only in your mind. The shame, you know what I mean, like it's inflated into a bigger balloon than it actually is because of the ego. And shame doesn't belong in this conversation. Chuck that out the window. Okay, go in there with a growth mindset and a student mindset. Everyone says that till we have to do it. And yes, it's uncomfortable. You are actually growing so much right now and you're going in the thick of it. It's like when that caterpillar is turning into the butterfly, that disgusting, what is that called? The chrysalis. And it turns into the pupae. Poop? No. That sticky substance is gross, right? But it emerges into this beautiful butterfly. It doesn't mean that a career has to be linear all the time, right? So you're going through that transformation. Trust yourself, have confidence in what you bring to the table. Okay, just remember that. And I wish you the best. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You have a role. Be happy, be grateful for this. There's lots of people in the comments here who've been looking for a role for a long time. You have that. Approach things from how can things be better versus why is this not good enough. Approach it from a place of how can I be better. Okay. So confident mindset. Hey Jay, thank you for being here. Yes, you're very welcome. All right. Thank you for being here and for asking your questions. Curious to check global job market. PJ, thank you for your question. Okay, but I'd like a little bit more clarity in terms of what you'd like to hear from me. It's such a like forward question, and I want to help you, right? I want to see where you're coming from. So this is the if you are into it, this is the format I want you to follow. My problem is X. My ideal outcome is Y. My question is that because then I'll kind of go in a certain order to ensure that yeah we get to the goods, right? um all right, if you have something else to add to what I just shared to connect, feel free to do so. And I see a question here from Yash. uh can you see me, because I got a message that I lost connectivity. Um, uh, just turning off the camera because I was checking my LAN cable. I'm not even on the freaking Wi-Fi because this drama tends to happen. But I'm back. Okay, that's what matters. We just we just have to have a little drama every now and then when it's going too smoothly, right? Hi Jennifer, how are you? Okay, you're very welcome, Kanik. I wish you the very very best. You've got this. Okay, you're in a really good place. Okay, Yash. Let's go, dude. I have an offer. Yay, congratulations. 32 lakhs per annum. Okay, that's 1 lakh is 100,000 rupees. It's a number that you don't hear in the rest of the world. 1 lakh is 100,000 rupees. FYI, which is a pretty good salary. I think it depends also on your experience. I asked another company to offer me 33 in Pune. How should I negotiate as they are fixated on less salary as Pune has low income, low cost of living? Okay. Um, I get that. Some companies will not negotiate. They understand. I mean, they have maybe transparency inside their company, and most people know what each person is earning at that particular level, right? And that is true. Pune does have a lower cost of living compared to like a Bangalore or a New Delhi, right? Having said that, I did have a client in Delhi who moved to Pune, and we did negotiate a massive increase. So I mean, work with a coach. If you don't have time or an energy or investment to work with a coach, check out a lot of my YouTube videos. I literally share negotiation techniques. Okay, so many techniques. Do your best, but at some point you need to read the room and be prepared. Is that something you're willing to walk away from? Like your pride is hurt, or you still think it's a good salary? We're talking about an additional 1 lakh, which is something that will make a good difference to you. But I don't understand. You have an offer for 32. So you're talking to another company and you want them to pay you 33, right? You're sort of playing one against the other. Yeah, you got to see which one moves first. I don't want you to do this for too long, because the last thing I want is them rescinding the offer because you're making them wait and you're making them nervous. Okay? You need to make a decision. Of course, do your best to negotiate and explain why you are worth the extra 1 lakh. And in order to do that, that's exactly the kind of tactics and strategy I talk about inside my YouTube channel with an entire playlist called Negotiate Like a Pro. I think you'll get a lot of help from that. Okay. So good luck with that and congrats on the offer. It's amazing. Well done. Good for you. Okay. Dan. Okay. Same question, Amit. Same comment that I made earlier. How do you see a career change after 40? Is it difficult? I mean, difficult. Define difficult. Is finishing school difficult? Is finishing college difficult? Is being brought up in a home with strict parents difficult? Is getting up every day at 6 a.m. to go for a workout? You know what I mean? You see where I'm going with this. Everyone's definitions are different. I have interviewed people on my podcast who are everyday people like you and me. Okay. I'm not talking about Mark Rutter, who is used to be the HR manager at Unilever and became the prime minister of Netherlands, and now is the Secretary General of NATO. I'm not even talking about those examples of massive career change after 40. I'm talking about regular people like you and me who've done this, and they're not smarter than you are. So 100% it's possible. I would say there are certain things that make you sharper, better um, after 40. There's a study that said that most of the entrepreneurs, people who became first time entrepreneurs, right, or startup founders, were the average age was 45. People were very surprised to see that because a lot of people thought that there's so much spotlight on the younger demographic. So it's not difficult at all. I have an entire video on 7 ways in which you can change careers. Especially, I mean, I'm not talking about something day and night, because if it's something like, I used to fly planes, now I want to do, like, I want to be a doctor. Okay, then you have to get into medicine. My video is much more, in that sense, it's much more limited. But if it's like, I used to do like finance and accounting, and I was really, really good at this, but I think I want to get into audit, or I want to get into compliance, right? That's different. It's a whole different body of knowledge, book of knowledge. So you can learn that stuff, right? And how do you do that? There's 7 steps in there. So if you're interested in that, feel free to send me a message inside LinkedIn, and I'll share that video with you. If you can find it, great. I got hundreds of videos. You can, especially live stream, so you can get a little bit lost. But that's a video that has helped lots and lots of people. Okay, those 7 steps to go ahead and do that. So is it difficult? Difficult lies in the eyes of the beholder. That's the way I'm going to answer that. Okay. Recession fears. Hmm. I don't know, PJ, how old you are, but there's always something going on in the macro sort of economic environment and geopolitical environment. There's always something going on. A friend of mine was telling me we're living in such weird times. It's never been so dangerous. And I'm like, I think we have a recency bias. We only tend to focus on things right now, and we assume it's really bad right now. I mean, our time, I don't know how old you are. I'm 46, right? So my parents were born in the 50s. They were born just after India became independent from the British rule and saw a bloody, bloody separation between India and Pakistan and the British leaving. Okay. Just before that, hello, World War II. Just before that, lots of civil wars around the world, and Franco-Prussian War, and then World War One, and all sorts of stuff. And it's not like we don't have anything going on. I mean, just before 9/11, there was some bad stuff happening in Eastern Europe, and then Rwanda. I don't want to take you on a history lesson. The point is, there's always something been going on, and geopolitical, economic, they're all intertwined, right? And currently, we have 2 wars going on while we are here, right? Minimum 2 wars going on right now in Russia, Ukraine, and the Gaza Strip and Israel. So there's a lot of talk. I can't control that, neither can you. We can't. We focus on our controllables. We focus on what is it that we do on a daily basis. And feeding the fear is not helpful. I really, really want you to remember that. The kind of content that does really well on social media, if you see the movies that do really well in Blockbuster, they're the ones that propagate a lot of fear and violence, because it's feeding a lot of negativity. People like that. It's the kind of stuff that sells. It's always been the case. But is it necessarily good for you? That's the thing to think about. Okay. Sorry, just thought it started raining suddenly, but the sun is shining. No, it's fine. Um, you want to work with the mukbangs? That sounds so cool. For those who are not in the know, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Mukbang. We gotta do something better with this. Mukbang. Afmang. I wanted to check if you foresee any recession fears, cost optimization in the US. I don't know. I'm not an economist. I can't predict that stuff. If you want to get a little bit of experience in one of these companies, then go try it out. See, apply. But you'll be one of the millions who apply, right? Thousands, if not millions, who apply. So go and study how this works. There's tons of YouTube videos on people who specialize in, like, I have experience in this company, let me help you. Um, as well as friends and friends of friends who can make a referral. In these kind of companies, referrals go really far. Having said that, not all referrals are created equal. So you do want to see who you talk to and how close are they to decision making people. Okay. So good luck with that. I don't think that has anything to do with cost optimization stuff. I mean, you want to get a year, 2 years, get as much time as you can in these companies and get out. Okay. These are behemoths. These are massive machines, right? With like super duper specialized division of labor. So it's not the kind of place, I don't think this is the kind of place where there's a lot of massive amount of innovation unless it's happening in little pockets of excellence. Do you know what I mean? So you do want to go in there, learn those processes, get the best out of it, those practices, best practices, and then the smaller medium size companies are actually little hidden pieces of gold and treasure. But most people will be like, I've never heard of it. Doesn't matter. You want to think about security in long term, right? Not just, you want to view your career as a long term career because a lot of us are going to work till we're 65, 70. All right. You're very welcome. I wish you the best. Any other question I can help with? Because I need to actually go now and I need to prepare for my next call that's coming up with my client. I'm just checking in. If just in case there's a comment that I hadn't answered, feel free to post it again. Hi Shraddha, please provide some roadmap. Okay, Shraddha, please provide me a question. What is the question? What kind of roadmap? What is it that you want to do? Okay. I think this is a question that needs a little bit more time, so I'm not going to be able to help you here. What does it mean? Please provide a roadmap. Okay. Try and see if you can ask a question with a little bit more thought. All right. Because the better the quality of the question, the better the quality of the response. Always, always, not just today. Right. My problem is X, my ideal outcome is Y. My question is Z. Or Z, if you're in the U if you're in the US and you're not like the Fahrenheit specialization is not enough and putting the date instead of the month and the month instead of the date in that order is not enough, you also want to get your Z. No, you also want to get your Z because you're so I'm joking with you guys. I'm joking. I'm happy you're here. Okay. Is it a part-time opportunity? There was a part-time opportunity, but the budget was less than half of what I expected. Yes, Vaibhav. Good question, Vaibhav. Negotiate. Tell them it's part-time, but you're much more effective. You're very good at what you do and you can get more done in less time, right? So use lots and lots of ideas from my playlist, which is all there for free. And if you want a little bit more like step-by-step help, I also have scripts on my website. You can check that out. I think go to superchargeyourself.com/. Negotiation, I think. Just see my website. It'll be there in one of the products, and it's helped so many people. Okay, these are scripts that I've created way before ChatGPT was in the picture, and it talks about how to address objections. This is an objection, right? Sorry, Web, we can't pay you. Our budget is tied. Our hands are tied. Our budget. We don't have, you know, we don't have the budget, etc., etc. So what do you say to that, right? A lot of that stuff is there, but even the video will help you for now. So take advantage of it. Okay, I'm able to negotiate. So good for you. I'm not quite sure what the question is, but PJ, well done. Happy for you. Okay. How do you start with an opportunity? How do you start with an opportunity? Please provide a roadmap. I think Shraddha, I think we need a little bit more time understanding this. I'm so sorry. I want to be able to help you. When you say start an opportunity, do you mean start looking for an opportunity or start a new job? Because those are very different answers. Okay. If it's about starting a new job, it's something I talk about frequently. That's a very good problem to have, right? You want to be that person who raises their hand, asks for help, learns. And the best way to learn is to do something. The best way to learn something is not sitting behind a desk. So if they are looking for volunteers for a project, raise your hand even though you don't know any. That's the best way to get to know people and understand how things work. There's a lot more. I have a video on this. If you feel free to send me a message inside LinkedIn and I can share that video with you. If the question is start looking for a new opportunity, it's a new job, right? So hopefully, yeah. So my question just start with a new job. Yeah. I have a much more detailed question on the much more detailed video on this inside my YouTube channel that came out around this time, 2019. Oh, came out 6 years ago. Time flies. So take advantage of that. I know it's gonna help you. So definitely. All right. Listen, amazing. I will wish you the best. And yes, Vaibhav, they feel bad for not hiring me. Oh, that shouldn't be your intention to make people feel bad, right? It should let them like keep a door open. Always keep a little bit the door open. Play the long game. You never know where opportunities come from and when they come. Always be good to people. Have people remember you with kindness. When you pass by, my mom used to say this to me, when you pass by, she meant it like literally, but also metaphorically that, there's this perfume or cologne you're wearing. When you pass by, people are like, who was that? It's the energy that you bring in. So even if it's a no, that's okay. I just signed this. It's so interesting. I just signed this week with a client, and she and I talked in May or April last year. So 9 months later, 10 months later, you never know, right? Um, it's a no today. It could be something else tomorrow. Keep a door open. Always be kind to people. Always be good to people. Nothing bad happens when you approach things with a good heart and with the willingness to help. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Take care of yourselves and thank you for joining me live. I am now going to rush to my prepare for my meeting. And I think this week, next week is the last week in this time. Then all kinds of weird stuff is going to happen. The US, we're going to go back to the US. You have to, if you're in North America, please pay attention. Europe is going to change clocks. And if you're in Asia, you guys are the smartest in the whole world for many reasons. And one of the reasons is because you guys don't change time. I wish that were the case for the rest of the world. The rest of the world hasn't figured that out. So just pay attention. For example, if you're watching me in India, 2 p.m. every Friday for me, Central European time, was 6:30 p.m. for you. So there was a 4.5 hour time difference. Now, starting not next week, but in 2 weeks, it's going to change to 3.5 hour time difference. So instead of 6:30, it'll be 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which hopefully is better. So take care of yourself and have a lovely Friday and weekend. And I shall see you at the same time on Super Dash Fridays. And happy Navroz, happy first day of spring.